Hello, sweet friends. Welcome back. Today, what are we doing?
Talking about rental properties and our experience with rental properties and being landlords, our experience with tenants.
The pros and cons. So, if you're new to the channel, my name is Victoria. This is my husband,
Scott.
and he's not always with us on the channel, but I do come back week after week with you. If you love everything related to home, you're in a great place. And today, being landlords has affected our home a lot, but we're also going to tell you, this was our original retirement plan, you guys. So if you're considering becoming a landlord and just having properties to have passive income, you might want to watch this to the end. Maybe you'll be so excited, or maybe you'll reconsider. We'll have to wait and see. Grab a drink, get comfortable from your home, and welcome to our home. Thanks for being here today.
So what was your original idea when it came to rental properties and being a landlord? Being a Florida slumlord?
Well, I originally lived here. I was divorced, and in the divorce, I really fought to keep my townhouse. I really saw that townhouse as an opportunity to invest in my children's future. This was all BS before Scott. So I still had a vision of providing for me and my children by having this passive income. So I started doing that right away. I had a military family in there. They were wonderful, didn't give me any trouble. They moved out. I had someone help me. I do suggest that if you can pay a 20% fee or first month's rent to have someone help you get a tenant, I would definitely recommend that.
A management company.
Yes. So here I am, a single mama. I literally put a sign in the window at the townhouse and I got a renter. Bad idea, bad experience. She was also a single mama who didn't have money and didn't pay me. So then I ended up having to go through all this drama, and it was a hot mess of trying to get my rent paid through the state, which thankfully and eventually the state was paying me her rent.
That was fun.
Not at all. Not a good tenant experience. You would think I would throw in the towel after that, because then when she moved out finally, she left me a hot mess.
You put your sign back in the window?
No, I did not. But anyway, she seemed lovely, right? And people are not always honest. People can be really gross. And I just am a very trusting person. I expect the good of everyone because that's what I would do. I think we project ourselves on others. I would never think ill of someone or bad, or I would never treat someone's home poorly. So I just assumed this person would take care of my home. Now, she didn't destroy the house, thankfully. She just left a lot of stuff I had to throw away. But honestly, one weekend I was ready to go with a new tenant.
That seems to be very typical. I used to work in apartment maintenance in a prior life. And the amount of people that just leave things behind, the amount of stuff left behind for somebody else to deal with.
It was really surprising to me.
Is incredible. You go to any apartment community, and when people move out, there is mountains of stuff sometimes to remove. That's when they move out. When somebody dies and there's no family to come take care of it,
it's even worse, probably.
It's worse because it's a lifetime of stuff left behind.
Wow.
So I guess take it for what it is. When you rent to somebody, expect they're going to leave the stuff that they either can't or don't want to move.
Don't feel like it. This has been our experience.
For you to deal with in the end.
Let a professional help you. If this is your first time doing this, call an agency, a realtor that you trust. Let them help you find a good placement. Find someone who's not going to have to pay you through the state.
It's imperative to get a property manager, somebody to manage your property, somebody who is a point of contact between the tenant and the landlord, somebody that they will call, not you. It's imperative to have some form of maintenance personnel, whether it's an air conditioning company, a plumber, an electrician, a handyman.
Have those people lined up.
Somebody that your property manager can contact and make the decision to send people out with your approval for large ticket items. They have a small account of money that they can just draw from and send people out for small ticket items. Imperative to have that line of separation between landlord and tenant.
So this is a big mistake that I personally have made,
both
and together
personally have made.
We have. So that's really good advice, honey.
You don't want to get a call at 10 o'clock at night because, well, they don't know how to operate the thermostat, or the ice machine stopped working, or
Stupid stuff.
one light switch is not operating
Can
properly.
you come change my light bulb?
I mean, you
So-
don't want calls at weird hours on weekends when you're at your kid's sporting event and they're
Yeah.
calling and they expect that you're going to stop life to come deal with something for them. If it's not an emergency, well, there's non-emergency procedures, handymen,
Now, if you
maintenance technicians that they can go in and deal with that.
But here's the thing. If you followed for a while, you know that my husband can do and fix anything. So for us, it was a financial decision of if something goes wrong. So let's say you're fully capable of fixing something, you can make that decision. We decided to save the money, deal with the headache, because really at the end of the day, I would say that was a good experience with all of our tenants.
Well,
there was never
there's more to
a
it than
whole list of things that Scott had to be called for. He's had to switch out a hot water heater. He's had to switch out a dishwasher.
Right,
we had
now-
to buy a refrigerator for someone.
Now, in fairness, if you have to look up what your state laws are. Like in Florida, we live in Florida. As the homeowner,
You can
you're
do that.
allowed to do
Those things.
some of those things that are permit required in some states,
Like a hot water
like a
heater.
hot water heater. You're allowed to replace it yourself as the homeowner without having to deal with contractors. So that was part of the decision that we made was, well, here in Florida, we're allowed to do this work ourselves. Why would we pay thousands of dollars, $2,500 to replace a water heater?
No
The
thanks.
water heater itself only costs
$500.
$500.
So that's us, a ripoff. We don't rip people off in our business. We're very fair. And so it's like,
only-
what? That
it's
was
only
insane.
3 wires and 3 pipes.
We were out of the country when
That's
that
it.
happened at one of our properties. The tenants called. We have no hot water. So they said, can we please get it fixed? We were like, well, hold on. We're going to be home tomorrow. Can you get a quote? And we disapproved it. We were like, absolutely not. Scott will be there tomorrow. We're so sorry. So that's like the worst thing that has ever happened as far as a tenant having to not have a hot shower one night because
No.
we were out of the country.
Well, there was another time we were out of state and the refrigerator died.
Oh, that's right.
And we had to call a
We
friend.
scrambled and he had to get it for us and it all worked out and we replaced it the same day. We were very good landlords. Like, if there is an issue, we always, because we understand it's their home while they're living there and we
Right.
want to honor them just like we want them to honor us.
We
and take
want
care of
them
our
to
home.
have a pleasant experience and live in the house as if it is their home.
So let's move on to the financial side of why we decided or thought that we would want to do this. So maybe you think being a landlord is a huge passive income.
It can be.
Each property varied for us. We're just going to be super vulnerable with you and just open our life up. We had one property for years, actually at my townhouse. This is another, let's pivot to this little piece of advice. Don't rent to your friends. And if you do, follow all the legal guidelines. Make sure you require a deposit. Make sure you have a legal binding lease agreement.
Make sure you have a pet deposit on top of your regular deposit.
Yes, all the things that you would require with a stranger, require with a friend.
Make sure that you are going into the property. You schedule at least 2 visits per year. Hold on. At least 2 visits per year. You're going to want to go in there before summer starts to make sure the air conditioner is working properly. And then again in the beginning of fall, make sure the heat is working properly. And when you turn the heat on, typically there's an odor that comes out from months of skin cells and dust on the heating elements, and they burn off, and it makes a weird odor in the house. But at which point you can check your AC, because it's a very expensive thing to replace. You can make sure it's working properly and call your AC tech and have them service it in the event that there's any issues. And you can make sure the filters are getting changed at least those 2 times a year. They should be done every month. That's something that should be in your lease agreement to ensure that your tenant is swapping out the AC filter. Whether you're, as the landlord, supplying the filters, or if you're putting it on the tenant to purchase the filters, that's totally up to you and what your state requires. But you need to be in there checking the physical condition of your property at least twice a year.
So that's
Failure to do so.
Show up to your
Failure to
property.
do so is at your own peril.
And why don't we just take a look? Recently, we experienced this of trusting the tenant. We didn't collect a deposit. We barely made money on the property after year after year. We never knew what was happening.
So, for instance, you're calculating, say you're making after all your bills are paid, your taxes, your insurance, your mortgage, your HOA, any CDDs you have, and setting aside some money because there's going to be repairs needed. So you put yourself a little nest egg, a little emergency fund for your property, and then you spend the rest. So say after all expenses are paid out, you make $500 a month on your property. And you're spending that money. That's passive income. You're not accounting for the fact that if you have a tenant that stays there longer and you're not inspecting the property regularly, when they move out and they leave you $30,000 worth of damages, did you really make money? But there's other things that you have to consider. So it's not just the profit you're making monthly that you look at when you're becoming a property manager and you're looking to make passive income in rental properties. There's also, if there's a mortgage on the property, there's the fact that your tenants are paying the mortgage down. So you are gaining equity in the property, provided property values are increasing and not decreasing, because the value of the property is really only worth what the market is going to dictate. So say, for instance, there's a lot of talk about sellers no longer paying for the buyer's realtor fees during a closing. Well, if that changes and sellers are no longer paying the realtor fees for the buyers, the value, the sale price of the properties is going to drop to accommodate for that change. So the crash of '08, right? Nobody was predicting that, hey, look, the market's just going to, the bottom's going to fall out. So all that money you thought you were gaining in equity as people were paying your mortgage down, once the value of your property dropped to a point where, well, it's not worth what you owe, now you have to time the market correctly, is what I'm saying, is the value in your property is really only there in a seller's market. If you're in a buyer's market, there's not much value there. Even though somebody's paying your mortgage off while they're living there, they're also degrading your property. Your property's aging, your appliances are aging, your flooring is aging, the paint is aging, the toilets are aging, everything. So there's also cost segregation. If you don't know what that is, you can look into it. But that helps you claim all that degradation up front to offset your tax burden on the property. So anyhow, the payoff amount is not a guarantee. It's all going to be based on the current market, housing market in your state, the United States.
Yeah, but I think anybody going into like a gamble,
right,
buying a home anytime is a gamble.
It's not a guarantee.
So many things could go wrong, right? I mean, all kinds of things. So we just want to encourage you to kind of step back and look at the big picture. Is this worth the risk? So let's take our Orange Park house. We got that house for $100,000, you guys.
Yes.
$100,000. There it is. So cheap. We could not buy that house. We liquidated the little bit of money we had in savings. This was, again, part of our retirement. We're like, this is worth cashing in our retirement to buy a house with cash and get it ready for tenants. We originally went into Orange Park because at this point we had my property, the Solar Drive property. And before we talk about Orange Park, let's actually go to your house, which I was very sad that Scott bought.
Right. When we met and we started dating, I started renting the house across the street.
2 doors down.
Well, and I had that house for, what, 3 years? 3 years?
Mm-hmm. Thought he was going to ask me to marry him, you guys.
So then when my landlord at the time, called me up and said, we had a life circumstance and we have to sell this house.
That is a huge benefit of having rental properties, because right there, that man was able to take his investment that Scott had been paying for all those years and people before Scott, and now he was able to cash it out and have a chunk of money to take care of his wife. So that's a huge bonus by having the properties. It's never an investment, I don't think. It's just, you have to weigh the pros and cons.
My landlord, when I moved into the property and started renting it, he didn't want to rent it. He wanted to sell it.
He was landlorded out.
But he was at the end of his line being a landlord. The housing market wasn't in a place where he could sell the property and make a good profit. So he elected to rent it to me, and I lived in it for 3 years, and I did all the maintenance and all the repairs that were needed on the property while I lived there. So the house was better when I bought it than it was when I rented it. So when he decided to sell it, he gave me the first option to buy it, no realtors. I had to pay the closing costs. He gave me a very friendly number where we both came out feeling like we did well. So I was very pleased with the number he gave me and the conditions. My future wife was not happy that I was purchasing a house
because
2 doors
I didn't
away.
think he was going to ever marry me. That's why.
Her parents didn't like
We
it.
were not happy with him. We're happy now, and we can't wait to tell you about that and why.
My father-in-law sat me down and he told me what a bad idea it was. Don't buy that house. So, anyhow, I bought the house. And then we used it, after we got married, we used it as a business
Office. Our
address.
first year at Bundle.
I painted cabinets in the upstairs
That's where we
for
built
a
the
while.
bundles, and they were all throughout the house. Yeah, it was really to have, especially being only 2 doors away. But then we realized financially it wasn't the smartest move. We really needed to get a tenant in there or sell the property. It wasn't the time to sell. So we were considering selling because it was actually a really great market.
Right.
And then a friend came to us, and she was a single parent again, asking. And so we let her live there. Now
We worked property to get it ready to put on the market because COVID hit and the property values were increasing rapidly. Seemed like everything went through the roof. So we were like, well, okay, well, let's sell.
When she needed a place,
But we had a dear friend of ours who was renting. Landlord had the same idea we had and told her that she had to move out in 30 days and she had nowhere to go and her children were in school in this neighborhood, in this school district.
So that's when we were like, okay, Jesus, we're going to trust you.
We let a friend move in.
And we were very fair in our price, but we did do a lease. I don't think we made her pay a deposit.
We didn't
take our own advice that we're giving you.
Right.
But
these are things that we learned along the way.
Yeah. This friend was always paid on time. No bridge burned. She did not destroy the place. It was left in beautiful condition. So we were able to really almost immediately put it back on the market. Unlike the other tenants that we'd experienced, she took all of her things with her. She cleaned the house. Like, there are good people out there.
She was an amazing tenant.
Yes. And we barely had to lift a finger when she left to then say, okay, let's try this again. We couldn't sell again. So then we're like, why is this house not selling? Let's put another tenant in. And this time, after the experiences we've had, we were like, let's find someone to help us. And so he was amazing.
We hired somebody to find us a new tenant.
Solid tenant, right? And now the rent, we were now, unlike our friend, making her only pay, the mortgage. These people, we were like, they're strangers. We're in this to make money, right? Like, over the years, it's a business.
We had the company that we hired do a market analysis of what the house would command for rent.
Right.
So we let the market dictate our rental term.
Do that, you guys. Let the market dictate. That's another really great tip. Let the market dictate how much you should be getting. Take as much as you can. Have the mindset of a business, not a charity. I mean, Scott and I, our heart is so big, and we want to help where we can. But as our children are getting older and we need to buy more cars, and our children pay for their cars, but we still have to help them.
Surprisingly, big kids eat more food. Large clothes
we have 5 of them.
Cost more than small clothes.
So,
large shoes cost more than little shoes.
Yeah, we just had to make a financial decision of like, okay, if this is really our retirement plan, you guys, this was our retirement plan to say we're going to have these 3 rental properties, and then we're going to look for some more and like have a portfolio of these passive incomes. So the one house, if we were to rent, we could get $300 to $500 a month. The other property, we can get $1,000 a month of passive income.
And that's only because, in fairness, that's only because of the deal that I got from the landlord when I purchased the property and the interest rate that I got.
Oh yeah, Scott had like a 2-point-something.
Right, interest rates are also a huge factor to consider when you're looking at rental properties. And how much you're paying
for a property.
Sure. Right. So definitely there's lots of YouTube videos out there. If you're looking to purchase houses for investment, rental investment, go out, find some YouTube content that's current and up to date and in your area, and do some research online.
Yeah.
And
it's not a bad idea at all.
Right. Call some everybody knows at least 2 realtors. Call your realtors that you know and start asking them about neighborhoods, about comps. Zillow is a great place to start, but Zillow doesn't.
Not completely accurate though.
But Zillow is not completely accurate for a couple of reasons. They don't take their listings down. So there's houses that have already been sold or been taken off the market that are still showing active. And what we found out recently too is the Zillow's estimate is not always accurate either.
Right.
And what I mean by that, it could be $30,000 or $40,000 off the mark. So it's not like, it's only a few $100s off or a couple $1,000s off. it can be way off because of the housing market here in Florida anyway. It was flooded with houses on the market when rates were lower and everybody was moving here, that a lot of these programs weren't keeping up. So they were only taking the last sale price number that you sold your house for and using that as a baseline for the Zestimate. So you could essentially list your house for $50,000 more than it really the market will dictate, and then take your house off the market, and then months later check the Zestimate, and it will still show a Zestimate based off of your last for sale price.
So what you can learn from that is get a professional to help
Yes,
you. They have
to
access to things that we don't, and they can truly give you a good market analysis
That's
of
right.
what you should be getting.
That's right. And
So.
trust your realtor. If you have a real estate agent that you don't trust, don't use them.
That's great advice. Right. At this point in our marriage, we're like, okay, great. We have 2 rental properties. Do we want to get more? And then we had Orange Park fall on our lap.
Our passive income at that point was only about $1,000 a month.
Yeah, between the 2 properties, which is a lot of money, $1,000.
Right.
So we were like, this is wonderful. But we weren't
Right.
being smart and putting it, just to confess all the things. We were not taking that $1,000 and reinvesting it for future properties. That would be an idea. Or putting it aside for future, oh, look at what our tenants did to our property. So we do suggest definitely taking a percentage of that passive income, setting it aside, putting it in a high interest account, something that will help you to have that buffer or emergency fund in those cases of, we have to buy the refrigerator or X, Y, and Z. Yeah, definitely have more of a financial plan. Scott and I, we are truly free spirits together. It's so good, and I love it so much. Like,
Hectic time. I mean,
it is crazy, but we are free birds. Like, we have dreams, and we dream big, and we're like, we'll make it work, right?
When we go in, we go all in.
All in, both feet. So it works for us, and that's we kind of like flew by the seat of our pants, so to say, with being landlords and having these rental, like, oh, this is a good idea. Oh, this is working out. Okay, let's keep doing this. And so
I'm going to tell you right now, the first time I heard about cost segregation and I started Googling it,
so look that up.
so much information. It's like trying to take a drink from a fire hose. It was, I mean, a lot of information.
So
Hard to
there's
understand.
a lot of things in your favor as landlords, and being able to also have properties and reinvest the money in other properties to avoid tax burdens. And
Oh
things
yeah,
like that.
then you start talking gains,
Yeah.
capital gains
We're
taxes.
not doing that
and
today on this
1099
channel.
exchanges, and I mean,
Yeah. So my dad came to us. He was like, you guys, there's this house. Our neighbor, sadly, his mom passed. My mom was caring for her at this house in Orange Park. He wants to offload it for $100,000. We didn't even see the house, and we were like, yes,
yeah,
please.
we bought it sight unseen.
Because we knew, like, the area, anyway.
Right, we took a look at the area. We looked at Zillow. We saw what the houses in the area were selling for, what houses in the area had sold in the last few months, and we said for that number,
This was a number that you didn't have to go to a realtor and get reassurance. Like, we were smart enough in what we were doing that we knew $100,000 was a steal of a deal for a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, big, beautiful lot.
concrete block home.
Yeah. So it's 50 years old. So
But the roof was only 9 years old.
we came into 13 years old.
13 years old, I'm sorry, 13 years old.
So anyway, we didn't just have $100,000 sitting around. We figured it out, and we were able to liquidate some stuff and invest in this property.
Pooled our resources together because the seller said he wanted $100,000 cash and he wanted it in 30 days.
So praise God, we were able to figure it out with what the Lord had provided for us. So we took that retirement that we had saved, invested it in this new retirement plan again. Now this is our 3rd rental property, and because we paid cash, let's renovate it to rent it, and that's $1,800 a month of passive income. So now we're at like 28, almost $3,000, because if we raise the townhouse rent,
we had a renter lined up to pay us $1,800 a month, and you figured our taxes on it were they were cheap.
really low. Yeah, not
Really
even
low.
$1,000. Yeah,
And there was
yeah.
passive income once we rented Orange Park House. And we had a renter lined up.
If you are new to the channel, we would love for you to go watch the Orange Park flips. We'll be sure to link those for you. That was quite the journey, and we ended up not flipping it. We ended up selling it, and that's a whole nother. Scott and I now
We
have.
still flipped it, but we sold it. We didn't hold it.
Yes, we flipped it to sell it because of our new retirement plan. So we are no longer wanting to be landlords. We still want to talk to you about a few things we've learned as landlords, since that's what this video is about. But we are really excited to tell you guys about our new retirement plan with those 3 properties that we're looking to sell instead of holding and keeping tenants in them. So far, we've been able to sell Scott's old house. Thank you, Jesus. We've also been able to sell the Orange Park house. And now we're working on flipping the townhouse. Definitely go back and watch that journey that we are still in. So come back next week because we're going to finish up that flip. It's the fastest flip we did. Orange Park flip took quite a while for lots of personal reasons. But this flip, we had a hard deadline of like, we need to get it on the market while it's still summer.
Yes.
So we've been spending every weekend there. And next week, if you come back, you'll get to see the townhouse completely ready, and it will be officially on the market, which is very exciting.
Yep.
But let's go back to the tenants that, some wisdom again, just with realtor who found the tenants in Scott's house. Here's what we can tell you. The system is never in your favor as a landlord.
Nope.
Not at all. Short version of the story, you tell them the short version. I tell long versions.
Okay.
Although you kind of are
Well,
long,
no, the short version is
they paid their rent on time.
they paid their rent on time. They were what appeared to be great tenants, model tenants, the entire time for the nine months that they lived there, or 10 months that they lived there.
10 months.
Until we decided we were going to sell the property. And because that I'd been in their house a few times to make some repairs, a dishwasher, a water heater.
He saw the condition of the home and it was
Right.
fine.
It was fine. They were taking
they were
good,
living
good
in
care
it,
of the
but,
property
yeah,
and
nothing
everything.
crazy.
Everything was going fine, and they had told us, you know, they had children, and they told us how much they loved the property. They loved the neighborhood, and we figured, well, we would give them first opportunity to buy the house if we were looking to sell it, and give them as much heads up and as much advance notice as we could prior to the end of their lease to let them decide whether they would like to purchase the property or if they were going to find another place to stay. What we learned with the tenant before them was as soon as we told that tenant that we were raising their rent, they found a place and moved
They were
out.
out. We didn't have a lease.
This tenant that we're talking about now, as soon as we told them, look, we're going to sell the property, we gave them the first opportunity to buy the property. We could not come to a number that we were both comfortable with. And
No big deal.
no big deal. So they still had a couple of months left on their lease. They tried to move out immediately. We didn't plan for that.
We didn't plan that.
We didn't plan for that financially. So we decided we were going to try and list the house because it was still in great condition and it was not destroyed. It was not filthy, no animals, that we would just go ahead and market the house while they still occupied. That was not a smart move.
No.
That created lots of tension.
Don't try to sell your house with a tenant in it. There's a piece of advice.
Right. It was pushback on showing, terrible communication. It was canceled showings. It was a lot of the feedback we got. The house was filthy.
They said the owner was mean, and I'm like,
the people living in there were rude and not pleasant at all. Slamming doors and
I mean, yeah.
Just it was a bad experience to try and sell a house that's being occupied by the tenants. Then it got to the point where they just decided they were moving out.
They didn't care that we told them no, that you have a full month left.
There was still a month left on their lease.
They took off.
They moved out. They didn't pay their last month rent.
They didn't clean good. It was
The house was filthy when they left.
Trash, mattresses.
Why? There was a lot of stuff left behind.
Lampshades were missing.
Things were broken. Right. Things were broken. Carpets were destroyed.
Not destroyed, but there were stains, and they were brand new carpets.
Big stains on brand new carpets. They were there for less than a year, and they just their last 2 months they did a lot of damage in just the last 2 months.
Okay, so
because before that it wasn't like that.
you would think as landlords, oh, well, we'll just keep their deposit, right? This was where we got smarter, and we have this $3,000 deposit that we're not giving back to them because they skipped out a whole month rent, which was $3,000. Plus they left us with several $1,000s of damage because I had to clean the tiles. I had to clean the carpets. We had to professionally clean the house. I had to replace those things that were missing. And the system is not in our favor as landlords. No. We got in touch with an attorney. We are not the type of people. We do not want to take you to court. That's not who we are.
No, we just expected people would
just do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
And we thought we had the right to just keep their deposit. Not true. No.
Well, there's definitely...
It's a process.
There's definitely guidelines for that.
Yes.
I mean, you have a time frame after the tenants move out to...
So we followed all the guidelines.
To file a claim against their deposit. And if they don't respond, then you just get to keep the deposit.
Right. They did respond with a huge packet of lies. Oh my word. Like, I had no idea. It boils my blood because lying, like, I can't. Just tell the truth. Like, be a person of integrity.
Right. They fabricated this big, long...
I couldn't even believe it.
This big, long...
So many lies.
Fairy tale about how we... Yeah, I mean...
We're not even going to bore you with it.
We were stalking them and we were...
Oh my word.
No, they were threatening to sue us because they decided to ruin the place in the last 2 months and then not pay us the last month rent. And then they wanted to sue us because they said that they weren't allowed to live there.
Which was a lie.
They weren't allowed to live there and feel like it was home because they felt like we were constantly watching them and stalking them. Okay. I mean, it was ugly, and
it's a recent wound, you guys.
And we could have hired an attorney. The attorney would have taken our money, and we would have gone to court, and we would have spent thousands of dollars. And according to the attorney, we would have lost.
Yeah.
So, going in, he was willing to take our money. It's what he does every day for a living. But being the landlord, regardless of what the law says, it doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter what the law says. Being the landlord, you're not going to win.
So at the end of the day, what you can take away from that is just expect that people are gross, that people will move out early, that people won't pay you on time, that people will leave trash behind, and also know that people are good and people will take care of your home. And you will be able to give a full deposit back because there was no damage, etc. So it can go either way. You have to go in knowing that it can go either way. We didn't want to spend the headspace and the emotional or financial piece of taking them to court. So we gave them their deposit back and we've moved on, right?
That's it.
So these 3 properties.
And we can now share this lesson with all of you.
Yeah. Overall, I would say my landlord experience, when I weigh the good with the bad feels really bad, so I just think it's bad. Because the last 2 tenants, his house who just moved out in the last couple months, and then our current situation that you guys have been walking through with us of that tenant who destroyed the house. It's like, I never want to be a landlord again. It's disgusting and terrible. And what we want to do instead with these monies that we have, praise the Lord, made on these flips. So these have been profitable for us, these investments.
Yes.
Not only paying our mortgage every month, making that little bit of passive income, and now being able to turn around and sell the properties has been huge for us. And we can't wait to tell you what is next and our future retirement plan. So with the townhouse, again, it was a friend. We didn't do a lease agreement. Really, like some years we did and some years we didn't. It just was very silly.
This was in the beginning, it was another circumstance where it was another friend who needed a place to stay. They were going to be homeless. And
so they say,
here comes Scott and Tori to the rescue. We're like, hey, we got a place.
Again, as we've already shared, we didn't check on the property. This tenant paid their rent on time. That was great. They always, each year when I had to raise their rent by maybe $50 or $100, whatever the taxes were, again, I was just covering that cost for me. Then one year the HOA went up a little bit, so I raised the rent for that. But at the end of the day, she did not come up to market value like we've talked about and encourage you to look until the very last year. So this is like year 7 or 8 that she was in this property. And we were very accommodating at the end too. So here, animals. She had 1 dog moving in. She bred dogs. I told her, do not allow the dogs upstairs. We can show you. She clearly let the dogs upstairs.
The time that this tenant was in there, they truly lived like it was their house. Total disregard for it being somebody else's property. What we learned is again, the circumstances upon move-in were, it was a rush, it was an emergency, it had to happen because they're going to be homeless. So we didn't do things correctly. We skipped steps and we accommodated and we lowered the rent to accommodate it. And then at the end of it all, even though it was free, this tenant stayed there for years, at the end it was, well, I'm moving out. It wasn't months and months, as soon as they knew.
Actually, I disagree with that.
Was
the tenant
it?
did tell, yes.
Okay.
She did communicate, hey, I'm looking at buying a house. She gave us a couple months heads
Okay.
up.
All right.
So we were very accommodating, like, that's amazing.
All right.
Congratulations. Just let us know at least 30 days, or as soon as you know that closing date, we need to know that so we can pivot and move forward with our next step with this house as well.
So we did get a closing date.
She communicated very well.
Okay, so we did get a closing date, and then that closing date was uncertain, and it moved.
And it changed. And so then
So
she
then
asked to
our
rent from
plans
day
had
to
to
day.
change.
Yeah, or a week at a time, monthly. She asked initially if she could go month to month. We were like, sure, that's no problem. And then it was day to day, and then the days, it was again, oh, I'm still cleaning. She wasn't cleaning. I don't know what she was doing over there, but I can promise you this tenant did not clean.
Wasn't cleaning.
If she cleaned, God love us if she didn't clean. Right?
Oof.
So be prepared to know. You just never know what you're gonna find. And the videos honestly don't do it justice. It is so bad, the stench.
You can't
it's
smell
just way worse in
through a
person. I don't
video.
think we can really capture how bad it looks. Like from a distance, it's like, oh, that's kind of like our tenants who sent us the packet of pictures. Yeah, they took a picture from far away, but I had photos of the things up close that were disgusting. So anything can look good from far away. So anyway.
You can't, just the amount of like the filth that you feel from being in there. It's not just, you're not there working and sweating. It's
you feel nasty.
The filth that's in there and the smell that you just can't get out of your nose.
It's almost over, honey.
It's not almost over.
It's almost over. We're going to be done in the next week and a half with that house. And it's
So-
going to be on the market, and Lord willing, we will wash our hands, and yay, us. We did good, honey.
Yeah.
We did.
We're doing great.
We are really excited to share with you guys what's coming next for the Mankoskis. Our old retirement plan is almost gone. We have one more property to sell, and then we'll have sold all three of those. We are no longer landlords. Thank you,
No
Jesus.
longer Florida slumlords.
No, we are not. And the new plan is, remember how we talked about being dreamers? It's pretty wild, you guys. It's not common, and it's actually a little crazy. So maybe you'll go on that journey with us.
Crazy.
And maybe you won't want to be a landlord either. Maybe you'll want to be a part of the new plan too. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can come back each week. Next week, we will share with you the full progress of the townhouse property. So hopefully today you learned if you want to be a landlord or not. I think the biggest thing is take the chance if it's something you've wanted to do. What do you have to lose? Well, your weekends, making it nice if someone trashed it. A financial loss for sure, but it also can be a huge gain. It can be a wonderful passive income. Definitely hire a professional to help you figure it out and to put someone good in your home. But even when we did that, you heard what happened. They skipped out anyway, and we're gonna sue us. So at the end of the day, people are people, and you have to just be open-minded and know that. My biggest thing from one woman to another woman, or maybe an emotional man, try to put your emotions aside. Even if you're going to rent to family or friends, you really need to be professional about it. You need to follow the rules, have the guidelines, do all the things to protect yourself, really. Oh, we just lost power.
A little power outage.
What were some takeaways that you feel like you
What
could
I would
recap?
do, I'm going to give the same information I would give one of our kids, that I have given our kids, is if you're going to take a chance, if this is something you want to do some research, look it up online, do some of your own research. Don't just fly by the seat of your pants.
Like we did.
Talk to people that you trust. Get some outside opinions from people you trust and who will be honest with you, brutally honest with you. And if you're going to do it while you're young, because if it doesn't work out, you got the rest of your life to figure it out.
Yeah, Lord willing. That's true. But we're not young, but we are. We still have half of our life ahead of us, Lord willing. We have 50 more years, baby.
Okay, but again, if you're going to take a chance on something, do it while you're young. Go.
Yeah.
Go all in.
Figure it out.
Go all in.
Find the investor.
Go figure it out while
Find
you're young.
the partner. If you don't have the cash, find someone to help you that also wants to do it. We were very blessed that we had this little tiny pot, right, that we were able to do. I was very blessed in my divorce that I fought like hell, honestly, to keep both of our homes because I had the vision of the future and he had the vision when we were just dating. So anyway, I know our circumstances is unique in that way. We didn't have like just a pot of money to invest in all these things, but it just kind of worked out that way.
Okay, but in the end of it all, don't look at this as we're telling we had a bad experience. We've had some bad experiences. We've had some good experiences. We made some good money. The properties, because we're selling them now, the value, there's still good value.
We're making good money selling them.
There's still some good value in our properties. So we're making profit selling these properties. So it has not been a horror story.
No.
There's been some rough patches along the way, and we've shared some of that with you. But there's been some good along the way as well. We did make some money, and it's providing for us to chase other opportunities and dreams.
And dreams that we didn't even know we had, you guys.
So I think that there's a lot of content out there. If you want to get into flipping houses, if you want to be a landlord, there's a ton of content out there.
Yeah. This is just our little experience. We hope this has been helpful, and we trust that
and entertaining.
We hope that we've made new friends today, because this is not our normal content. So if we have, so nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. We would love to hear in the comments below, would you take the chance of being a landlord? What do you think that you would want to do? Has it ever been a dream of yours? Tell us about maybe something you dream about. We would love to get to know you guys better. Again, we can't do the channel without you. So thank you for being here. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and be sure to come back next week as we continue the journey of the townhouse flip.
That's it.
Bye, guys.